welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm talking about computers. This is all in preparation of an upcoming computer build that I pretty much don't have a choice at this point. My laptop, which I've been very impressed with, a Dell Alienwear 17-inch. I think I spent about $1,000 or $1,200 on it about 2.5 years ago. And I mean, it has just been impressive. And it still is impressive, but I think the GPU is starting to croak on it because I'm getting little wavy lines on the screen in certain situations. So I just, 3 years ago, I had 27 computers, I think, chipped devices, I'm including like tablets and drone and single board computer, so I had a lot of computers. 2 of them were mining rigs, crypto mining rigs that had 12 GPUs in each one. Okay, so I had 24 GPUs just in boxes that I lost in the fire, right? So I've been building computers and working on computers for a really long time. I mean, I guess that might, in this day and age, okay, so, 15 years-ish. Maybe a little less. 15 years. Good solid 15 years working with computers, right? But that's basically, I had very little computer knowledge before that, okay? So currently, the things that I use computers for is a pretty wide range of things, right? So I've got my laptop that does my editing, does my drone photography rendering, gaming, and just the rest of the stuff that you do normally with a computer. But then I do things like have to flash new firmware onto solar equipment, for example, but it's more than that. So that's where I really run into difficulties with my laptop being a 17-inch laptop. For those type of activities, it's just not good. Right now, I'm pretty limited in what I can shoot as far as the size of my videos and the quality I can shoot, which isn't a huge deal. So, but rendering and editing and all this, it's always nicer to have more power. I had a Mac, actually I had 2 of them, Pro from the generation before they went to the trash can. So they went to the trash can and before that. So I had the towers before that, and I had modified them, new CPUs, new GPU, Titan X, Ti, huge video card in these Macs. I had done so much work to these Macs where they were like editing beasts, right? They were more powerful than Mac had put out before they put out the latest generation of the new towers. Those new towers just stomp all over my old towers. But those old towers that I had until those new towers came out were stomping all over the trash cans, okay? So I have gotten very used to being able to have a high level of computing power. So moving forwards, my use case scenario for computers is a little unique in my, it's a very dirty, dusty, smoky environment that I live in. And this reflects in my computer. My my laptop, I've already had to replace the fans. I have to blow it out like every couple weeks during the summertime when the smoke's in the air. I mean, it's just horrible, right? So as I move forwards, building a computer that I can have filtration that is going to filter out most of the smoke and the dust and all that before it even hits the computer. Okay, so that's one of my criteria. Another one of my criteria is I want it to be portable. I want it to be easily portable, right? So I'll add my charging station I built here. Okay, so this is where the kind of long lines that I'm going with when I'm going to do this PC build. So I'm going to build a PC in a Pelican case. That's a pretty beefy PC, is the plan, right? And it will be, so you shut the Pelican case, it's going to be 100%. Like, I'm not going to pierce the outside of the Pelican case. So the Pelican case will open up, might even have a little display in the lid just for, shits and giggles, but not the main display, right? And then, but opening it up, and you have to plug in all the I/O down into the top of it. The filters will filter the air going in. I have concepts in my head. We'll see what's going to actually work, if this is going to work. So and then the plan is to retire eBay, my current computer, and then replace it with a Toughbook. Okay, so an old, used Panasonic Toughbook, right? So that's more along the lines of what I need for running a laptop, right? So if I'm doing a drone mission, like to set up the mission, you have to do that through a web browser. So if you're out in the field, like you go to this place and you want to do, the place, and you have to make an adjustment to it or whatever, you have to have a computer on site. Now, this isn't something I'm going to be doing all the time, but just to make it simpler. And when I'm flashing new firmware on things, it's going to be a lot easier just to have, a small little laptop, and it's going to be a Toughbook. That way I don't have to worry about buying a case for it. I can just throw it in my backpack or throw it in the passenger, throw it on the floor of the truck, whatever. Not even worried about it, right? And then there's one more category. Now, when it comes to security surveillance systems, you get your best results by using a computer, unless you have a computer that's a crashing piece of trash that's just going to be crashing and just messing your stuff up all the time. In that case, just having, a DVR system is better than a crashing computer. But a decent, stable computer that can just run a security. And the reason why this is better is because you can mix and match your security cameras. So a lot of the program that I used to have that I ran on Macs, it had a drop down of hundreds of different cameras that I could just, hook up into the system. So that was very nice, right? So now that gets me to even a third computer, because ideally I don't want my editing computer running security software. It could, but I want to be able to turn off my big main editing computer, restart it if I want, because whatever reason. And if you have your security camera connected to that, and also this big computer and living off grid, I'll probably have to just turn it off every night. It might be okay to sleep it, we'll see, but it's going to be a beast, and I probably won't be able to run it as much as I've been able to run my laptop in the evenings, depending on what I'm doing. I fully edit, export everything in the evenings. Might not be able to do that certain evenings, wintertime, with a bigger unit, right? So that's what's coming up. Big things. Gonna build a really badass PC in a Pelican case. Gonna get myself moved over to having a tough book, and I'm going to sell my laptop. And then probably with the proceeds from the sales of the laptop, I'm going to get something, maybe just a DVR. I'm not quite sure, but something to build the security system solely on, because it's just better that way. You know, I could have my main computer totally shut off because it just is going to pull. It's going to have like 1,000-watt power supply, right? I'm not just going to have that thing just sitting on all the time, right? Now, I guess I could put it on my Toughbook, but that would then be a situation where, you know, I need to use the Toughbook and now the security system is not hooked up, right? And this current laptop I have, it has a crashing issue the entire time that I've owned it, but it doesn't crash at bad times. It doesn't crash like when you're rendering, when I'm gaming. It doesn't ever crash then. It crashes randomly, like when it's sleeping, when it's just sitting there. It doesn't crash on exports, but when it's just sitting there, it'll crash, restart, and boom, there goes. Now your security, I mean, there is ways to make everything turn back on and get back going, but things happen. And it's just better to have a much more stable system that's connected to your security. That's really just connected to your security. I mean, that's ideal, you know. And then whether you connect it to your phone and it's on the internet or whatever, that's like a whole different conversation, right? But the device is really what's going on. So anyway, there's what's coming up. I just had to, you know, I tell you, it's been tough over the past couple years having just one computer. I just got a tablet. I don't use it a lot, but when you need a tablet, you need a tablet. When you need a laptop, you need a laptop. When you need a high power editing device, you need a high power editing device. I mean, it's just kind of the way it is. So don't forget to subscribe. Peace.